It started with a box, plain, ordinary, left outside apartment 3A on a cold October morning in Milwaukee. The name on the label wasn't his, but curiosity is a dangerous thing. Inside that box, there wasn't much. Just a tape recorder, old, dusty, still warm as if someone had just used it, and a single cassette marked in red ink with one word, Ethan. He thought it was a mistake, a mix-up from a neighbor he had never met, the man from apartment 3B. But there was something strange about that apartment. No one ever came in or out. No deliveries, no lights, no sound. Just the smell of dust and something faintly metallic in the hallway. Ethan pressed play anyway. He heard breathing, then his own voice, talking, describing in real time what he was doing. The words were exact, every sound, every breath, until the voice said, calmly,
"If you're hearing this, you've already been recorded."
He dropped the recorder, but the tape kept spinning. No one has seen Ethan Miller since that night. What you're about to hear is everything he left behind. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, autumn 1992. A quiet city of cold winds and quieter neighbors. Before smartphones, before everything was recorded, except this. Lincoln Heights looked like any other Midwest suburb. Old brick buildings, low fences, and corridors where no one really knew who lived next door. But in an aging apartment on Marquette Avenue, silence began to echo. Reports of footsteps at night, flickering lights and whispers in empty hallways started appearing that October. It all began after the delivery of a single cardboard box. No return address, no tracking number. The recipient was a man named Ethan Miller, 32. A quiet IT technician who mostly kept to himself. Neighbors said he was polite, the kind who always smiled and disappeared behind his door. Until one day, he didn't. 3 days later, the building manager called the police. The apartment was locked from the inside, the TV still on, coffee still warm, and a tape recorder spinning endlessly on the table. The box was half-burned, lying near the door. Inside, only ashes, and what looked like a handprint pressed into the cardboard. The audio you're about to hear was never officially released. It was found by a janitor, hidden behind a wall panel in the basement. Some say the sound changes depending on the hour you listen. If you're hearing this at night, leave a comment with the name of your city. It's just a curiosity of mine, or maybe I just need to know how far this story has already spread. The recording starts with nothing but static, a low, constant hiss, then a sound, a door opening, a man breathing through his nose, steady but uncertain.
Testing. 1, 2, is this thing on?
He chuckles nervously, as if expecting someone to answer. But there's only silence. You can almost hear the emptiness of the room swallowing his words.
I got this box outside my door this morning. No label, no sender, just my name written on it. Not printed. Handwritten. Like someone knew I'd open it. I know I shouldn't have, but come on, who wouldn't?
The sound of cardboard tearing. The microphone picks up the faint crinkle of plastic wrap, then the hollow click of buttons being pressed on another recorder. The same model, just older.
There's another tape in here. Weird. It says Ethan on it. That's my name.
He pauses for a long time. When he speaks again, his tone has changed.
Maybe it's a prank. I mean, who would send me this?
Investigators later confirmed that Ethan's fingerprints were found only on the outer box, not on the recorder or the cassette. Whoever sent it had worn gloves.
All right, let's see what's on it.
A few seconds of silence, then breathing rhythmic close to the microphone, too close.
Wait, that's me. That's me breathing. What the hell?
He laughs nervously, trying to mask his discomfort. The recording on the other tape continues, his voice echoing what he says, just seconds behind. Every sentence repeated, but slightly distorted, as if something unseen were mimicking him.
This is okay. Whoever's doing this, stop. This isn't funny.
Something falls in the background, maybe a picture frame, maybe not. Ethan gasps.
There's no one here, but I heard something move behind the wall.
According to police records, the building's walls were double-layered with insulation. No hollow space large enough for a person, no access panels, no signs of forced entry. Yet the sound of tapping, slow, deliberate, continued on the tape.
It's coming from inside the vent. Oh God, I can hear it breathing.
Then a new sound emerges, a whisper almost too soft to catch, a second voice, deeper, slower.
Keep listening.
The audio distorts, warps, and fades into a high-pitched ringing. When the police first played the tape, they reported hearing the same whisper, but only one officer could make out the words. He resigned the next morning, refusing to explain why.
I think it knows I'm recording.
He breathes heavily, pacing. You can hear the creak of the floorboards as he moves back and forth. Then, silence again, except for the faint hum of the recorder still spinning.
I'm not alone.
That was the last entry on tape 1. When detectives rewound it, the magnetic strip had warped, burned slightly, as if from the inside. No one has ever found the second recorder. But 3 days later, neighbors in apartment 3C reported hearing the sound of a tape, still playing. The police arrived 2 days later. Apartment 3A was silent, except for the faint hum of a tape still spinning on the floor, out of power, but somehow moving. Detective Hall pressed the stop button. It resisted, as if magnetized to motion. When it finally stopped, the room seemed to breathe. No sign of Ethan Miller, no forced entry. Just a table, a coffee mug, still warm, and the recorder. The forensic team logged the tape as evidence. Cassette, red label, handwritten name. But when the technician tried to play it back, the file changed. At first it was Ethan's voice again, then static, then something else, a faint scratching, like fingernails on the inside of the microphone. Then came an image. The screen of the digital converter flickered, as if the tape were trying to show something. Frame by frame, the technician slowed it down. A hallway, a door. 3A. Then Ethan, standing in front of it. But the timestamp showed it was recorded 3 hours after he had already disappeared. The technician froze the frame. Ethan was staring directly at the lens. His eyes were black, his mouth open in a silent scream, as if the sound had been torn out before it could escape. When they tried to print the frame, the photo came out blank, white, empty, except for one new word that appeared in the corner, scrawled in red pixels. Rewind. Detective Hall stared at the word on the screen. Rewind. It pulsed once, faintly, before fading into static. He rubbed his temples. Some kind of data corruption, the tech mumbled, already reaching for the keyboard. But Hall felt something colder beneath the rational explanation, something in the pit of his stomach twisting like a warning. "Do it," he said. The technician sighed, clicked reverse playback, and the room filled with the mechanical whirring of the tape spooling backward. For a few seconds, nothing happened, just the grainy hiss of old magnetic film in reverse. Then, voices. At first they were muffled, then clearer. Whispers layered over one another, so many that it sounded like a crowd standing just behind the speaker. Hall leaned closer. He could hear his own name.
Hall.
He shot the technician a look. "You edited this?" The man shook his head, his face drained of color. "No, sir, that's not even possible. This thing was recorded before you." The recorder clicked again. The voices stopped. A new sound emerged, faint breathing, slow and deliberate. Then the thump of footsteps. They were moving down a hallway. Hall knew the rhythm instantly. Left, right, slight limp. It was his walk. He felt his pulse spike. The sound was so detailed it couldn't be faked. The drag of his shoe, the jingle of his badge chain, every detail perfect. And then The breathing changed. It wasn't his anymore. It was heavier, wet, like something trying to imitate breath without lungs. The room grew colder. One of the overhead lights flickered. The technician looked pale, muttering something about magnetic interference. But Hall couldn't move. He was listening. There was something beyond the recording, not just sound, presence. He could almost feel someone standing behind him. Then the tape played a new sound, one that made both men freeze. 3 sharp knocks, exactly like the sound that had echoed through the hallway of apartment 3A the night Ethan disappeared, according to the report. Only now, it was coming from inside the recording booth. The technician turned toward the door. Nothing. He opened his mouth to speak, but the tape answered first. It played the sound of the door creaking open, and then the faint click of a recorder button being pressed. Static. Then a voice, not Ethan's, not Hall's, something lower, something behind the voice, as if the tape was a vessel and something else was speaking through it. Detective Hall, it said. Calm, measured. Don't look behind you. Hall's body tensed instantly. His instincts screamed trap, but his mind whispered obey. The technician, however, panicked, spinning in his chair to check the room. Nothing, except... The tape laughed, a deep, fractured sound, distorted by static. Hall slammed the stop button. It didn't stop. He yanked the plug out of the socket. The tape kept spinning, every rotation slower than the last. As it wound down, a voice, soft, almost tender, slipped through the static. Do you understand now? It whispered. You pressed play. He pressed play. Now it's my turn. The reel froze. The screen flickered again. One frame appeared for just a fraction of a second. Hall saw his own reflection in the glass window of the sound booth, but it wasn't moving with him. He blinked. His reflection smiled back. Then the monitor went black. That night, Hall took the recorder home. He didn't tell the department. He told himself it was for evidence security, but deep down he knew. He couldn't leave it there. Not after what it had said. He poured a glass of whiskey, set the recorder on the kitchen counter, and stared at it like it was alive. Its small red light blinked once every few seconds like a heartbeat. All right, he muttered. Let's finish this. He pressed play. For a moment, only silence. Then the faint crackle of static. Then his own voice, describing exactly what he was doing. The sound of glass, the clink of ice. His muttered words, perfectly synchronized, but always 1 second ahead. Hall's breath hitched. The voice was predicting him. He stood, eyes wide, as the recording continued. Then it said something new, something that wasn't happening yet. Now, the voice said, calm as ever. Look out the window. Hall froze. He turned. The blinds were half open. Beyond them, a figure stood on the fire escape, pale, still, wearing his face. The figure raised its hand and pressed a finger to its lips. Shh. Then the tape stopped. Hall stumbled backward, heart pounding. He tore open the window. The fire escape was empty, but when he looked back at the recorder, it was gone. All that remained on the counter was a single cassette tape, the label freshly written in red ink. One word: Hall.